We're at a turning point in the history of movies. Right now. In the last few months, artificial intelligence has gotten powerful enough to be able to replace one person's face with another's in video footage, and to imitate a person's voice in a way that's almost unrecognizable.
Being a robot has its benefits. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
And it's happening in real time. These are, of course, called deepfakes, and they've raised a lot of questions. One of which is if they'll be used to fake video evidence. But there seem to be ways to control that. And people are also wondering what effect they'll have on the movie business. And that's what I want to talk about today. Now, the obvious first question is, will deepfake technology be used in movies? And the answer is, yes, of course. Because they're going to allow us to have an experience with movies that we've never had before. Seeing one actor replaced with another, seeing actors from the past in new films, and seeing people starring in their own biopics. This last one, I think, is inevitable, because the first step in most biopics has always been to find a good actor who looks as much as possible like the person in question, so we can get the feeling of actually following the unseen events in that person's life. Now, that resemblance can be perfect. We don't even have to worry at all about who is playing the character, but instead only about their performance, since their expressions can be mapped to the new face, and even that can be adjusted after the fact. Also, the experience this will create will be pretty special. We're going to take in these movies in a way that we've never had before, the feeling of seamless believability. And I don't mean being really close to reality, though it will be. I mean our brains actually watching a movie that triggers us precisely as it would if it were the real thing. Special effects have never been able to do that before. We've always had a sense of distance. But what I think is interesting about this, which I figured out in the last few months, is that that sense of distance is not unavoidable. Those effects can actually be good enough to create a perfect sense of reality in our minds. Because the way we process believability is not about whether or not the thing is real. There's actually a threshold of consistency that we look for between the thing in question and our real experiences. This is probably most noticeable when we look at real photographs that show an expression or event in a way that looks too exaggerated. Even though they are real, the picture doesn't work. And it goes the other way also. A false image, if it matches our real perceptions enough, in the lighting, movement, imperfections, and so on, will register as completely real to us, and, most importantly, satisfy our emotions, even if it technically is fake. It just so happens that movies have never been able to reach that level before. In other words, a deepfake video of Tom Cruise in American Psycho can be so real that I no longer have any interest in seeing the actual Tom Cruise in the movie. My brain already saw something that was accurate enough to register as real to me, and that was all I actually needed. I'm fascinated to see just what this will be like in the theater. But outside that, this technology is going to have other effects on the movie business itself. Like, for example, there are going to be major changes in the role actors play in movies. In some types of films, the actual actor who's cast will matter far less, and studios will instead focus on buying likenesses for certain people and movie stars, including the ability to make movies with their face long after they're dead. And likewise, I suspect that real people selling their likeness for biopics will want to have much more say in what's in the movie, since people will see the actual person on screen doing those things instead of an actor. But that doesn't mean that actors won't matter anymore, or that new actors won't get a chance. One of the fascinating things about our emotions is how we add the personal story of the directors and actors to the movie itself, and an actor will always bring that to the table, including the attraction that people will have to the idea of seeing an unknown actor getting their first shot. So I think even if you could cast Clint Eastwood in movies forever, you'll eventually get a better effect from showing someone new. But either way, there's definitely going to be a backlash. When photographs replaced painting, when movies replaced photographs, when sound replaced silent movies, when color replaced black and white, and even when HD replaced normal resolution, someone was always unhappy. But ultimately, as long as the price is the same, the product that gives a better experience to the audience will eventually win, and the business will adapt around it. So, let's see how that happens. Please like this video if you did, and I'll be back soon.